But Jesus has a different model, which is the opposite of the pagan rulers. His model is a self-giving service. Jesus simply told them, I came to this world not to be served, but to serve. And to give my life a ransom for many. Serving others is your daily. Did he die for many? Yes. He did shed his blood and gave his life for sinners, just like you and me. Serving others, yet expecting nothing in return is a very difficult task to ask anyone, because sometimes we are the ones who desperately need services of others. The 12 did not want to take any part of the suffering either, but they only wanted the glory. It surely is difficult. But the good news is, Jesus has gone before us. He has broken through and cleared the way for us to follow. David Garland puts it beautifully. Jesus is like a man who cut through the path of the jungle for days in order to lead a group of prisoners back to freedom and life, and then died of exhaustion on arrival. Yes, he has shown us the way by giving himself up for us. What do we do as his followers, though? A good example of someone who lived his life and died for others is Martin Luther King Jr. Despite several death threats and evident dangers to his life, Dr. King never stopped working for others. At 6:01 p.m. on April 4, 1968, he was hit by a sniper bullet in Memphis, Tennessee, and died at 7:05. He gave his life while serving others. Before he died, Dr. King said this: life's most urgent question is, what are you going to do for others? As individuals, what are we doing for others? As a family, what are we doing for others? As a church, what are we doing for others? As a nation, what are we doing for others? Among many other things, what we can do for others is just being there. Since I came to the United States from another country with different culture and different traditions, I see things a bit differently. In this country, we value individual privacy so much that it is extremely easy to become lonely. For some, loneliness becomes our best friend. So it may be at school, at work, or in our neighborhood, just being there for people who are lonely is serving others. Some of us might not know how to say or what to do, but being there is serving others. We can also serve others by giving hands. In our surroundings, there are many people who need our help and who need our time. If you don't help them when they need it, you might not have a second chance. So, please help. Some of you might say, I can't do this because I don't have this, or I don't have that, or I'm not good at people, or some of you might say, I'm not good at this and that. Let me tell you, I want to tell you my story. Before I came to America, I learned some English back home and felt pretty good about myself. Oh, I speak some English. And when I came here, I talked to people and they didn't understand me. And when they talked to me, I didn't understand them. So when I arrived in Dallas on December 18th, 2000, I have two sisters already living in the United States. So when I came, I realized that they kept saying, and do you know how fun it is to say for the first time in your life? So about 2 weeks in the US, I was at home and there was a phone call. I picked up the phone and some woman said something in English. I know she said something, but I did not understand a word she said, so I said, She continued, and I said, She kept saying something I don't understand, and I had no idea what she said, but I said, And guess what? She hung up on me. Poor woman. If I have her number today, I think I'm going to call her right after this service. I feel really bad for what I've caused, all the troubles that I've caused. My point is, my English was not simply good enough. But I helped many refugees from Burma with that limited English. I took them to the hospitals, I took them to the clinics, I took them to the driver's license office, and I helped them with different other things. I'm sure there are things that you can do to help others. That's my point. If I was able to help others with that kind of limitation, I'm sure you can do better than me. Serving also means giving. Giving includes tithes, money given to the poor and the homeless, and so on. In 1899, two American Baptist missionaries, Arthur and Laura Carson, came to my home state, Chin State. It was a little more than 100 years ago. Laura Carson called us head hunters because we killed each other and tried to get our heads. We did not have proper clothes. We did not know God. We were enemies. Arthur and Laura tried so hard to help us with education, agriculture, and health problems. They spent all their own money to help us, so they ran out of money. Arthur Carson telegraphed his home church, "If you want to continue to support us, just say yes. If you can't, just say no, and we will leave Chin State immediately," because they didn't have any money left. When I read our story, this story, and think about this moment, I am really afraid. Had their church in the United States said no, we the Chin people would still be killing each other. We would still have no proper clothes. We would still be enemies and worship rocks and trees. But their church said yes, and they continued their mission. If it weren't for our missionaries, I would not even exist. Without the support of their home church in the U.S., we would not exist at all. My wife is sitting here, and I'm standing here, only because individuals and families at their home church in America gave money for their missionaries. Your tithes, your contribution to this church and other individuals or organizations are changing the life of people. Another American missionaries, Anne and Adoniram Judson, are the first Protestant missionaries to Burma. They arrived in Rangoon, that is the capital of Burma, 200 years ago. And in fact, Myanmar Baptist Convention is celebrating this important date next month in Rangoon. So their story is quite unique. When a smart young man, Adoniram, saw a young and beautiful lady, Anne, he fell in love with her at first sight. Yes, there is no such thing as falling in love at first sight. A few months later, he proposed her in a letter. He wrote, I'm paraphrasing, I would like to marry you, but I want you to know that if we get married, we are leaving for a country you have never heard of. And you might never see your parents again. In short, he is saying, marry me and we'll die together in a foreign country. All the ladies at Royal Lane, if your husband or your boyfriend proposes you like this, how would you respond? That's pretty tough. We might never know the answer to that, but I'll try to guess. I guess some response would be like, come again? Or, say what? Or something like, are you crazy? Or some could be like, heck no, it's over. Or it might just be simple answer, yes, we never know. Anne's response was, give me time to think. And he did. Eventually she agreed and they got married. After they got married, they went to India first, then to Burma. They sacrificed greatly and suffered dearly. After a long and painful suffering, Adoniram once said, if it weren't for Christ, I would have given up. He was right when he said you might never see your parents again. Anne never saw her parents again and died in Burma. Adoniram did not make it back to America either. He died on his way back home, and his body was thrown into the sea. They served the people of Burma and eventually gave their life for them. That is what Jesus called not to be served, but to serve. I'm not asking you to give up your life. Neither did Jesus. What he is asking for is simply serving others. Some of us might not be able to sacrifice like Anne and Adoniram Judson. But as Sally Coach rightly said, great opportunities to help others seldom come, but small ones surround us daily. We might not be able to do what Adoniram and Anne did, but there are some little things, some things that we as individuals, we as families, we as the church can do in our surroundings. We are here not to be served,